In this tutorial, we'll investigate the use of Clipart images within your MegaEdit products. Whilst having many similarities with the image galleries, Clipart categories vary in a few different ways. So Clipart will not interact with image fields that you've already added to your canvas, and customers cannot upload new Clipart, but they can be allowed access to predefined Clipart categories. So Clipart categories are defined independently from your MegaEdit products to begin with, and then we assign those Clipart categories to your products. So I'm going to start off by just going to my general data for MegaEdit, which can be accessed, catalog, product types, MegaEdit, and then MegaEdit general data. You'll see here that we've got a few different tabs related to a few different types of resource. For now, we're going to be sticking with Clipart galleries. Click on Add New Record. Type in a name and description. You have the option to allow this to only be accessible by administrators if you wish to do so. So, for example, if this is required by administrators just to generate templates, then you might not want to make it accessible by customers. However, leaving that unchecked will mean that end users can access these cliparts as well. And then go and insert, and then we can configure. And this is where we actually upload our Clipart resources. You'll see there that it's expecting the file format of JPEG, PNG, or PDF. So you can either drag and drop files onto the upload or click to launch the browser window, and you can locate files from there. Resources that have been successfully uploaded will be shown at the bottom of the screen. So with our category generated, we then need to apply that Clipart category to one of our MegaEdit products. So if I go back, which will take me back to our general data, I can get quick access to my MegaEdit products by going on this drop down and going to products. Alternatively, we can still access it from the list on the left hand side, catalog, product types, MegaEdit, and then MegaEdit products. I'm going to identify one of my MegaEdit products and edit to get to the resource specification areas. So this is, for example, where we've previously specified which canvases we want to use, stocks, fonts, and output types so far. In this case, we'll go to Cliparts. You'll see our available Clipart category is now listed, and it's just a case of specifying the gallery or galleries that we want to make available and clicking Save Changes. From here, I'm going to access our MegaEdit editor for this product. Now what you'll see is that on the left-hand side of our screen, we have an additional tab there, which wasn't present previously, which is to do with cliparts. So as I mentioned, these are now static imagery. The user can't upload any additional images to this, and they don't interact with these text or image fields that we have already defined. We can have multiple clipart galleries available. In this case, we only have one. And it's just a case of dragging and dropping from one of these images over to our main canvas. And you'll see that if I hover over the image field, it doesn't try and place it within the image field. Also, if I try and place another clipart over the top of this, it won't override. So it's not doing the same behavior as our previous image field. So as with image fields, we may get some resolution and positional issues with clipart galleries as well, and clipart frames. So if the clipart has been scaled such that an image quality may be poor, a warning will appear informing you of resolution issues. So you'll see that these frames here, they have the warning triangle. If I click to the bottom right, which shows me the errors, it gives me more detail on those particular issues. As we've seen with other entities that we've added to our canvas, we can double click on a clipart image that we've added to our canvas and get some additional image options associated with it. Now there's a few different tabs and behaviors available here, and we'll work our way through. The first tab is our image options. So this allows us some basic transformations such as flipping the image and arrangement. So we can change the Z-axis arrangement of our clipart image, and then you can delete and you can duplicate. The next tab along is the effect options tab. So this is very similar to what you will have seen on the image field, such as we've got up here, where you can modify things such as brightness, contrast, tint, and so on. We have border and background options. So that allows us to assign a border to our clip art, which we can modify as we see fit, and to apply a background color if we deem it necessary. We have our shadow options, so we can apply a shadow to the field. And then finally, we have the Details tab. So from an administrator and a template designer perspective, the Details tab is the most critical option on here. So within this particular tab, you can control the clip art customization options that a customer is able to access. Now, there are a lot of options on this tab, essentially enabling or disabling the individual customization options, which we've discussed in these previous tabs, and the transformation behavior that we get when we were operating within the canvas itself. In addition to disabling those individual settings, which you'll find somewhere in this list, there are some regularly used options in this list as well, which might have a more global control in terms of this particular piece of clip art. So for example, we can set a restriction on movement. So I can say, for example, that this has gone from free to fixed. So that means it can no longer be moved by our end user. We can also disable the ability to change the size and disable the ability for rotation. We have got the ability to control this on a bit of a wider level though. So let's say, for example, that we don't want our customers to be able to interact with this clip art at all. That's going to be a fixed piece of clip art. If we scroll down, then we've got these options here, which are probably quite useful for this purpose. So we've got do not open pop-up. That completely eliminates the ability to get this whole pop-up window. So none of these options can be accessed. We've got do not delete. So the customer can't delete the image. And we also have do not select. Now this is particularly useful if you have multiple layers one on top of the other. And what it means is that regardless of the Z-axis position of that particular clip art frame, that can never be selected. So anything else that overlays it or sits behind it will be selected by default. Now, if we want to check that this behavior is actually as we expect, then we're going to need to put on our emulate user mode. If we're in our current mode, which is the administrator mode, then we can still access all of these individual options. So if I go to menu and then emulate user mode, this will now show me the canvas as the user would see it and allow me to interact as the user would see it. So these two clip art frames here, I've not put any restrictions on. So you can still, I can still access a lot of these different properties. Even as a customer, I'm able to make these changes. However, this one on the top left, where we did apply some restrictions, you can see that I'm no longer able to interact with that at all. So that is now a fixed piece of artwork on this particular product. If a clip art gallery is accessible to your customers and is not set to admin only, and that was done, remember, in the admin area, then they will be able to add additional images from that category by dragging and dropping from the Clip Arts tab. So if you've set to admin only and you're looking from a user perspective, so you're emulating a user, you won't see this clip art category. However, if it is not set to admin only, then the user will also be able to make changes by dragging clip art onto the canvas. So just to reiterate, clip art will not interact with the image frames. So unlike the images, which are shown in the Images tab, where you can drag and drop images into an existing image field, the same behavior is not true of clip arts. So if I drag from the clip art category, it does not put that inside our image field. It is completely independent.